Protect us, O Emperor, from the snares of the heretic, the mutant, the xeno, and the warp spawn. In you we place all our faith, in you we find refuge, in you we find our avenger. Lead us forth into legions of humanity's foes. With thy spirit and give us the courage and capability to slay the foes in every battle we are compelled to fight, though they last until the end of time.
Okay.
Everything is in the right place. Hello, everyone, and welcome. Welcome, sisters, to Conventual Warfare on the Wandering Inn. It's good to be back. It's good to be doing. No, I'm not going to phrase it like that. It's good to be here with Sisters of Battle. Let's put that on. There we go. The Adepta Sororitas, which doesn't have an A at the end, which I always forget. An S at the end of Adepta. I always forget that. First up, we will do intros, because it is the first episode, and it is the time when everyone is paying attention, and more likely to go and check out cool people. We have 3 players here today. We have 4 players next week, and we have a possible guest or 2 in the future, so we'll see about that. However, for now, we will go around and we'll say hello to everyone. I think we should start with our new player, who has not been on the channel before. That would be Miss Magitech, also Magi RPG, and also Sister Minerva.
Yes, hello everybody. Hi, I am Tracy, Miss Magitech. It is my first time on The Wandering Inn, though not a stranger to The Wandering Inn and many of their productions. But I'm happy to be here playing in a specifically Sisters of Battle Warhammer TTRPG. I am a big fan specifically of the Sisters of Battle. It became my kind of hyperfixation in the year 2023. I have they have a very special place in my heart. I paint minis of Sisters of Battle, and they just speak to me, just being an all-female group that just is extremely set in their ways for the Emperor of mankind. So it's very, very special to me. So that's why I'm very excited to play this. And I'm very happy to be here. So that's me.
And there is also Magi RPG.
And Magi RPG, of course. Yes, I do tabletop. Yeah, who am I? What do I do? I do tabletop stuff a lot of tabletop RPG stuff in my free time. And I run a channel called Magi RPG, twitch.tv/Magi RPG, or youtube.com/Magi RPG, where we do a lot of tabletop stuff. We started mostly doing D&D, but we've actually, in this past year or so, expanded out to do so many other games, and we're all loving them. So we do Blades in the Dark. We're starting a new, what's the Magical Girls equivalent? Girl by Moonlight as well, which is going to be really fun. Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf the Apocalypse, all of World of Darkness, really. So yeah, we do a lot of great stuff over at Magi RPG. So yeah, that's me.
So if you are interested in any of those shows, link in the description to Magi RPG. Go check it out and go give it some love. Both the YouTube and the Twitch is down there. So, I know a lot of you guys now are YouTube viewers who like to watch things later on. So everyone watching in the VODs, hey, how you doing? Everyone who's watching live, throw down some of those blushy face reactions for me. Because, clearly the most sister here. And also, if you're all very good, who knows, in the future, you may see my The Wandering Inn and Magi RPG collaborating on something.
Yes.
Anyway, on to the next person, who hasn't been here for quite a while. So much so that when she joined the Zoom meeting, her name was, I want to say Sasha, but it was Sesha. Welcome back, Kat!
Hi! Hello! I'm glad to be back. It's been a while. I was wondering when I came into the call when Sheepy said, "Hi, Sasha!" And I was like, wait, I haven't been called that in ages. So, glad to be here. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kat, also known as I'm Kat. I stream on Twitch here and there, really inconsistent. I thrive on ADHD and chaos with a little bit of caffeine. So, I'm super excited. I've been hardcore playing Darktide and definitely loving the Psyker and the Zealot, by the way. They're the best ones. Just saying. You know, glory for the Emperor. But yeah, I'm excited to be here.
Yeah. I personally am a fan of my Ogren Good Rat, but, you know, to each their own.
I love the sweet brute.
Yeah. Finally, someone who has been here more recently, but is back again because I just can't get rid of her, Syrinx, and also Helestri.
Hey, it's good to be back. Despite what Sheepy might say, it's very good to be back. Sorry. For those of you who don't know me, hi, I'm Syrinx. I've been on the channel a few times already. Sheepy can't get rid of me. I'm a cosplayer and role player. And I am excited for this show. I am the most noob in this group as far as lore and knowledge on Warhammer and the Sisters of Battle go. So I'm very excited to rely on my wonderful castmates. But yeah, I am excited to play Helestri, the medic of the group.
Oh, and yes, I'm Sheepdog. This is Wandering In. If you enjoy it here, if you like the shows we do, and you want to see more, go check out the Patreon, because we can't do too many shows because we pay the cost, and that all adds up. So the more people who support on Patreon, the more shows I can do, essentially. I do have some plans to do, you know, as many shows as I can, try and figure it out, and, you know, possibly take a loss on it, but it's fine. But yes, go check out the Patreon. Also, if you are in the YouTube live chat or wherever, you can throw down a super chat. At the end of the episode, we will I will go through them, answer any questions. Feel free if you guys are okay with it. I'm just throwing this on you now, apparently. Sorry about that. If anyone has any questions, if you know, you can answer them at the end as well. So feel free to throw down a super chat for a couple of dollars and be like, I love this show. And then say, Syrinx, why are you in basically every Wandering In production?
Because we love her.
Yeah.
That's why.
See, some people can admit it. That I love that. Like,
Well,
some people can admit it, Sheepy.
You can never what is the saying? You can never have too much of a good thing. I stand by that.
Is that true? Is that a real saying?
I stand by that. There's no second part to that.
I've never.
My hyper fixation says no.
And yes, essentially, when it comes to lore and things like that, as always, I am a little bit flexible with lore. I'm very flexible with rules. We're using Wrath and Glory, technically speaking, but not really. If you're a lover of Wrath and Glory, I apologize. I'm going to do a mixture of just destroy and ignore the Wrath and Glory rules. So, you know, same with every other system I use. Syrinx and Kat will remember from playing Mage, where we barely use the rules at all.
Yeah, someone asked me today when I was talking about the show, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, like, do you know the system? Like, I think it's quite complicated, right? And I was like, oh no, don't worry about it. We never use the system.
What was it? I talked to somebody the other day, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, what system are you using?" I was like, "This is a battle," and they're just like, "What?"
This
I was like,
basically.
Yeah, so they're just like, "What the what's this?" And I was just like, "Sisters of Battle." They're
That's all
like,
you need to know.
They're just like, "That's not a." I was like, "I know."
Yep.
You clearly haven't seen any of Sheepy's shows yet.
Yeah, I was just like, clearly.
And yes, aside from that, good news, everybody. I am planning on setting up a Patreon slash supporter kind of campaign. Well, every once a month we'll jump in. We'll have a little bit of a TTRPG. I'll GM something. At the moment, my current plan is pirates. So if you are a patron, you'll likely be able to sign up for an episode, for a session or two, and it should be fun.
Aye. R. Sorry, I'm an R.
And I think that's everything. The Twitter, Discord. Oh, yes, no. If you are curious, the order is the Order of Pure Intent. Is it Pure Intent?
Yes.
Yes. The order is called the...
Or is it?
Yes. The order is called the Order of Pure Intent, and the paint scheme is up on the Discord now in the Conventual Warfare channel, so you can take a look at it. It's very basic, and it's just... I've shown you guys it, right?
I was like,
Yep.
have I seen it? I might have, and I forgot already.
I have.
I'm gonna go look now.
It's the black and white split
Just
down
need
the
a
middle.
refresher.
Yes.
So if you're wondering what they look like as they gun down guilty people, that'll give you a good idea. And aside from that, we have upcoming shows, a few little recording things. We have I just put out a whole load of new shows for everyone to sign up to on the Discord, in my cast Discord. A lot of fun stuff, hopefully, so keep an eye out. We've got more shows coming. Syrinx, you're always good at telling me when I've missed something. Have I missed anything?
Mention to Patreon. Everyone has introduced themselves.
Yeah.
You've given a little intro to the world. I think we're good to go.
Okay, sweet. I don't have to do usually have to do a recap, but one thing I was gonna say for Miss Magitech, if you ever need a cheat code to steal all of my viewers, do a 40k show and put me as a player. They're desperate to see that.
Okay. All right. Noted.
Yeah. Actually, just having me up as a player in anything will probably do it at this point.
Okay.
I think it's been like 2 or 3 years at this point since I've actually properly played in a show.
Wow.
So, with that in mind, and with Sheepy searching quickly for a slight vibe change, shall we begin a Adepta Sororitas serious show that Sheepdog for some reason decided to call Conventual Warfare? So, in the universe of 40k, war is everywhere. The Imperium of man, humanity in its largest and strongest form, is all over the galaxy. Technology used to be amazing, and it's still pretty good, but no one knows how to use it properly. So they find technology they either don't understand or can barely get working, and just use it as best they can. Space travel is dangerous. Demons invade your spaceship and murder you, invade your brain and murder you. There are billions of aliens trying to destroy you, trying to either eat you or take over your planets. And one of the factions of the Imperium that stands against all of this is the Adepta Sororitas, the Sisters of Battle, who worship, possibly the hardest out of everyone, the God Emperor of mankind, the man who took humanity out of darkness and into light, and then was defeated by one of his sons who he created in a lab and is now rotting on a throne. But there is still a need to protect the Imperium and the Emperor, and the Sisters of Battle form the military wing of the ecclesiarchy of the church, the ones who form the backbone of the worship of the Emperor of mankind. Because the ecclesiarchy were told they aren't allowed men under arms, they went, okay then, let's go and find a whole load of badass women. And turns out, in a galaxy which has had over 10,000 years of war, there are a lot of badass women in the galaxy. And we are going to be joining the Order of Pure Intent, a organization, mini-faction of the Sisters of Battle of the Adepta Sororitas, which is led by the Canoness Superior Minerva Galatiya, who organizes the order in this sector. However, there is a planet, which is called Calliades. Used to be a cardinal world, lots of worship, lots of monasteries, and very pious citizens, which has recently had to be transformed more towards a fortress world. As in this sector of the galaxy, in this area, it is the only planet left that has not either fallen to chaos or receded from the Imperium. Around this area of space, multiple planets, multiple systems have either fallen to chaos, which means worshipping the dark gods, who are evil and terrible and horrific, at least from the perspective of the Imperium and the Sisters, at least. Or they have decided to secede from the Imperium because they are upset, as many reasons, taxes, having to support the Imperium, send their young men off to war and to die. There's loads of reasons. Or it's just a corrupt set of governors, planetary governors and stuff. So, Calliades, because it is the only planet left, still loyal, has seen an influx of Imperial Guardsmen, of recruits into the PDF, and the Order of Pure Intent has fortified the planet themselves and sent in reinforcements and a commander. The commander of Calliades for the Sisters of Battle, for the Order of Pure Intent, is Canoness Commander Minerva, and I'm going to give me a second here. Wait, where is it? I have it in my notes. I just realized the notes that I'm looking at right now is brackets Miss Magitech. So I'm like, where's my notes with your character name?
Galatiya.
Galatiya.
Yes. Minerva Galatiya.
Canoness Commander Minerva Galatiya. Along with multiple units, squads of the Sisters of Battle. As things currently stand, the Canoness Commander is in charge of the Order of Pure Intent on the planet. However, she does receive her orders from the Canoness Superior from time to time. She does have a lot of leeway in terms of what to do. At the current moment in time, she has been assigning her squads to either going out and helping the general populace of the planet, whether that be ministering to them, leading prayers, or boosting morale. She has also sent them out with detachments to the Imperial Guard and similar strike forces who have been attacking the other planets in the area. So that's the general situation that we are currently faced with. An imminent invasion, possibly from either secessionists, traitors, and rebels, or a possible invasion from chaos cultists, heretics, and rebels. And the camera fades in to a reasonably small mining town where there is a squad which has been sent out by Minerva, led by, I would say the most likely reference in this instance would be Captain, but I'd say Sergeant is possibly just as appropriate. Sister Sareth Rose is in command of the squad for the moment, with, I would say, I think it's about 4, 5, 6, 7, with 7 squad mates, squad sisters. You have a heavy flamer with you. You have one sister with a stalker bolter, which is kind of a scoped, slightly more long-range bolter. You also have been assigned, who has been on a couple of missions with you, a Hospitaller Medicae, because on this excursion, you have been informed that there has been reports and requests for some medical aid. Some of the miners have been experiencing some issues. So, as the camera fades in, we have a kind of a bit scruffy. This guy who is in front of you, Sareth, is the kind of, like, call him like the town mayor. He's the headman, basically, of this mining town. He's the only one outside in the square. The rest of the populace is inside. They have not come out to greet you. And there is... You know what? This is not quite there. Let's go with this one. They have not come out to greet you, and the atmosphere in the town is quite tense. And I would say, as you have kind of touched down in your lander and disembarked, the mayor has greeted you and pointed out the house where there is a sick miner. And after that, he says, We're not sure what's wrong with him. Probably just a case of black lung or something along those lines, we think. But we do not have a professional Medicae. So we requested help, and you were sent.
You are right in contacting us. Do not allow those thoughts to fog your judgment.
Of course.
We'll take it from here.
Well, would it be all right if I stayed to observe? Just the townspeople are nervous, and I want to make sure that they...
Are they nervous for their safety? I can assure you, they're under the best protection.
Of course. It's not often we are visited out here by the Order of Pure Intent is all.
I see. Well, tell the civilians that they are being watched. Watched by the Emperor's eyes. Our eyes.
Of course. The Emperor protects. And he kind of like bows his head a little bit and like backs off away from you. At this point, what he can see should be highlighted, which is around 8 Sisters of Battle who are fully decked in full battle armor, with black paint down one side, white paint down the other, and an inversion on certain aspects of it. You have three of your sisters are equipped with bolters. One of them has the stalker bolter. Another one has a big, heavy flamer that's just, she's got this huge pack with promethium on her back. Another one is slightly less intimidating in some ways. The Medicae Helestri has narcissism and multiple kind of, the best way to describe it would be like needly looking things coming out of her fingers. Gloves on to, when someone needs a little bit of adrenaline to get back in the fight, or a little bit of painkillers, something to dull the pain. The Hospitallers, the Medicae tend to be there. You also have... Oh, sorry.
I was gonna ask, do we all wear, fully closed helmets? Or is it, alright to have only, a mouthpiece for, oxygen reasons and stuff, or do we all wear full helmets?
So, you can wear helmets or not. I would say, in general, and this comes down to your commander and also your captain. In general, I would say, if you're going out to minister to your own people, to the planet, you're likely to at least have a couple of you with helmets off, if not everyone, depending on how dangerous you think it's going to be. Just because the sisters in full battle gear with helmets is kind of impersonal and terrifying.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Although, having said that, even when Sareth has her helmet off, she doesn't look less terrifying. Sorry, yeah. Sareth.
But I would assume that, at least in my case, I wouldn't be wearing a full helmet, but just to, seem less intimidating.
Yes. And you do also have a standard bearer, who carries a big, long pole with the bones of a saint suspended in a cage. Essentially, that's something which is that's something which is there to inspire and to show people, the sisters are here. It's not something you'd want to lose, just as a note, for the future. So, if there's ever a point where there's a threat to the banner, the standard, you probably want to stop them from taking it or anything.
And I'm assuming that he directed, the mayor, pretty much showed me where the which house it was.
Yeah, there are some decent stone brick style houses, kind of further away from the mines. The ones near the mines are actually mostly kind of shanties, metal sheets, kind of quite small, quite ramshackle, rusted. It seems like there are families here who do other things, but the miners and everything,
in that case, Sister Dolash, Sister Haldress, to me.
Yes. And they both they heft their weapons and stats side by side of you.
Stand tall, sisters. We are representing the Emperor. These citizens here, they fear us. They fear the unknown. But we will show them the light. Sister Helestri.
Yes, Sister Sareth.
There.
Of course, I will show him the Emperor's light.
See that you do.
Okay. So,
I will make my way over to the hut that was pointed out.
and as you walk in, there's a kind of reasonably a reasonably well built man for the most part. Mining, it does tend towards building some muscle at least. But you notice, like, immediately as you walk in, there is a very slight kind of like tang in the air, almost like rot, almost like something along those lines. And like you've smelt this before, obviously, being a Medicae, you've dealt with gangrene, you've dealt with, infections and things like that. You know what? Let's go for our first roll of.
Oh my god, we're already gonna roll.
We're going to
Are
roll.
you
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
We're like 20 minutes into the first episode.
I know. But you gotta give the people what they want. So if you go to your character sheet and to your skills,
All right, yeah.
and then you can scroll down to Medicae. Seeing as this is reasonably, it's reasonably easy.
Yeah.
If you just roll your Medicae, I'll put the bonus die up to 1.
So I just click the roll thing.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So, geez, okay.
I don't know what any of that means.
So, you have to roll 4s and above for successes. You rolled 8 dice and you got all but 1. It looks like. Oh no, all but 2. So yes.
It says 6, right? Yeah.
You got 6, and the Wrath die result was a success as well, so 7 technically. Pretty much a very good success. One might say almost critical success. That's how I judge these things, pretty much. So the smell is not infection. But it has that type of like it's the best way I can say it is essentially it's how your brain interprets it. You have smelled this before. Essentially, this is what you would call corruption. This is unlikely to be as a result of mining unless they found something down there that specifically is corruptive. This is more likely a exposure to something that has caused mutation or an illness that is more warp-born than natural. So we're talking, for the sake of people here who aren't massive 40k nerds like myself, we're talking demonic, we're talking possibly heresy, and like a think of it like an evil magical illness, basically. So I would say you very quickly realize that this is not something that A, you can heal, or B, you particularly want to heal. This guy may not specifically be a heretic. That's not super important. The fact of the matter is he has been infected by something heretical, and it could spread.
All right. Am I right in assuming that in this situation there's like no extra benefit to like taking some sort of sample? Like there's nothing to be learned from this situation?
I would say if you do have a tech priest biologist, a master biologist, currently staying in the temple, in the convent. So if you had the right equipment, you could possibly take a sample and bring it back to him. You'd have to be very careful though, because you don't want to spread the disease, the rot. So I would say, likely it's something that would cross your mind. Also, it's probably something you may want to kick up the ladder, so you don't have to make the decision.
Okay, yeah.
Kicking up the ladder would basically be going to Sareth and being like, "Hey, there's this fucking thing here." Like,
Yeah. All right. I think that's the wisest thing to do here then. I'm doing this all from smell alone, right? So I haven't seen the guy yet.
you rolled really well, yeah. No,
Yeah.
like
I came in,
essentially
smelled the air, and was like, corruption.
heresy.
All right, cool.
Smells like heresy.
I
I will
yeah?
say, as you walk in, the man looks up and he's awake and he is in bed, kind of like covered by very basic, greasy, crappy,
Oh,
fabrics.
yeah.
So
Cool. If I do see the guy, then I won't just step in there, look at him, step out.
that's why I mentioned it, because he'd
Yeah.
obviously have seen you, and I was like, wait a second, if she just walks immediately out, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah, cool. Thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah.
I will I imagine that even though I'm not wearing a full helmet, I am wearing like a little like mouthpiece, like oxygen thing.
Yeah.
I don't take that off where I usually would, because I feel like with the corruption it's not logical for me to. So I just like keep it on, and I think that distorts my voice a little bit as I will speak. But I'll take a few steps closer, look at the man, like kneel down, because assuming he's like in a bed, and I'll say, you don't have to worry. We're here to help you with your illness. I already have a sense of what it could be, but really rest assured, you're in safe hands with the sisters, and the Emperor will guide you as he guides us all. I merely need to get something outside, but rest assured, you can lay down some more. Give me your hand.
And he reaches his hand out and says, "Thank you, sister. Thank you."
You're ever so welcome. She, with one of her like little glove thingies that has like a syringe here, a scalpel there. I would assume, if it's okay with you, she plunges one of the syringes in there. That's like a sedative, like a strong fucking sedative thing.
Yeah.
Basically, she wants to just knock him out with that.
Okay. Yeah, just you got your sedative. It would essentially be a case of like, I have the correct thing for this, and then you just like unplug, plug.
Yeah,
you
like-
got a few tubes, and then just and done.
Yeah, so I unplugged that. I
And
put that in there.
his,
Put the sedative in.
Yeah, and his after like a second, half second, his eyes just kind of like go a bit heavier, and then his head hits the pillow, which is probably just a piece of wood.
Yeah. I with that stand up, walk back outside. And as I come outside, I will. Where is like? I'm assuming Seraph isn't next to like the guy in charge. Like the guy took a bit of a back, like few steps back, so that I don't have to go to him and be
Yeah.
like. Psst, psst.
Well, he essentially like stepped away, and when he took a like little bit of a tester of Sareth's mood,
Yeah.
kind of like he's essentially hovering anxiously, but also nowhere near close enough to hear anything because he's scared of Sarah.
I'm giving him the eye of like.
Well, and you also called two sisters to you, who are now standing there at attention, like ready to take action. So yeah, it's added to the worry.
It's a little intimidating.
All right, I'll make my way back to Seraph. And how do we say like sergeant? What do we say, or just like sister constantly?
So in general, Sarith would be sister. Let me have a look here. It is yeah. So sister, maybe sister superior. In a more informal setting, I would say when you're on the field in general, especially when Minerva isn't here, I'd go with captain.
Okay, cool. Yeah. I'll walk up and I'll say, Captain,
Sister?
the case is lost, but before we do anything, it might be beneficial for us to collect a sample inside. But that is up to your call, of course. He is corrupted. There's nothing to do about him.
Of course. Well. Purge.
Right away. And I
no
think
samples either.
What
sister.
What did you say?
No samples either, sister.
Yeah. Understood, Captain. She walks back to the house.
As a sidebar, we haven't settled on a weapon for you, if you have one, which I would assume you would. So, I would say a flamer would be appropriate.
Yeah. She'll call for the flamer. How do I say that name? Ephrinus?
The flamer is Ephrinus.
Ephrinus, yeah. Sister Ephrinus!
Yes, Captain.
Please attend the patient with Sister Helestry.
Helestry. Yeah.
Sister Helestry.
Names are difficult in this sometimes in this world, guys. We'll get there. I've also made a whole load of complicated names myself, so yes, Captain. And as Ephrinus locks into step with you, Helestry, she kind of like she has a full helmet on at the moment. Turns to you and says, "Would you like to do the honors?" And she proffers over her flamer.
Thank you, sister. She takes it from her. But since this building is metal, she will actually walk and open the door again.
Gonna kick it?
Not kick it.
No?
Just gentle.
Okay.
She just like opens it like she's just coming back, you know? And she looks, the guy is like out of it. And then she just says, "May his light guide us, and may his will be word." And then she just like points the flamethrower right at the guy and just like, boop, shoots it.
And the gout of flame just encases the whole interior of this little shack, and kind of like curls out of the windows, the smoke getting more acrid as some materials and body burns. As this happens, almost in lockstep with you kind of, turning the flamer and depressing the trigger, you hear the mayor, Sarith, say, "Now, hold on a second." And as he, walks forward.
I whip around.
And he stops.
Is there a problem, Mayor?
And he, kind of closes his robe slightly and says, "Of course there's no problem, sister.
You're lucky that we are here.
Yes.
Your town was housing an infected.
We didn't know. We just thought he was ill.
I understand that. But be thankful that you called us in time. You see, you are unfamiliar with the infected. However, I am extremely familiar with them, as well as my sisters. It only takes one before the whole entire town is infected.
But we have...
With its disgusting heresy.
Yes, sister. But we have no concern for the rest of the townsfolk. There was no contact as soon as he, as dictated by Sister Minerva Galatiya, we quarantined them, and there was no contact the second that we saw any sign of illness.
Good. You follow orders. The Emperor guides us all. Our paths may be different, but we are all on the same side, are we not, Mayor?
Yes, sister. And he does the sign of the Aquila and like bows and praise the Emperor.
Praise the Emperor. And then she turns and looks at the house that's on fire.
If you turn, I would say that I'm like walking back towards you. I didn't hear the conversation that you just had, but as I come close, I say, Captain, should I look around if there's any more sign of corruption? There might be others infected without them knowing. There might be other houses that have this inside.
Sister Halestri, your work here, superb. Sister Minerva will be extremely proud of you. However, we were only here to deal with the one infected. We will send troops down here. And they will stay here until all of the infected are purged from this town.
I would say at this point you probably notice like maybe like a little pink face here or there, like looking out from some of the thing, like kind of peeking around curtains or windows and stuff.
Do not fear, citizens, for the sisters are here to bring you deliverance. You sought us out, and we came to your aid. We understand that you cannot fight this heresy on your own. But under the guidance of my sisters, we will all shine in the Emperor's light.
As you finish, all of the sisters smack their heels together, which in the armor, has that kind of like clunk, and then all of them, and Halestri, whether you want to do this too is down to you, shout, "For the Emperor!" which kind of like echoes off the buildings, and there is just like silence after that. If you want, you can then turn and sweep off impressively to your lander.
So I sweep off impressively with
and
the sisters and I.
The second that you turn, all of the sisters turn in unison and fall in step behind you. The lander, which is just down off the square a little bit, which transported you here. The back opens up and you stomp up the ramp into the lander with the rest of the sisters following you behind. And as you turn around, all of the sisters get on board, sit down. The back of the lander starts to raise back up, and the last thing you see is the mayor still bowed with his head down as the ramp closes, and you take off, heading back towards the cathedral monastery, which convent monastery. I've called it like 50 different things. Temple monastery, and you are headed back to the monastery, back to the fortress. I had to throw in a little bit of a when you started the speech, I was like, "Oh, I have a thing for this. Let's go."
She just wanted to make sure that, hey,
Yeah.
we're here now to save you all. You asked for this, and now we're here to help.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, you made sure.
Yeah. So, as a note, you were there to investigate the ill person. When you go and report to the Canoness, likely you'll want to include the possibility of an infection vector, whether that be something in the mines or something that came to the village or town. And I assume, based off what you said, that you're going to advise sending a detachment out there anyway. So, unless you particularly want to discuss anything with any of the sisters in the transport back to the convent, we can probably get to the touchdown.
I would walk over to Sister Halextry.
Yeah.
Halextry. I don't know why I said it with a C.
I love how you said Halextry.
Halextry. Halextry. Sister.
Captain.
And I will sit next to her.
I will take off my mouthpiece.
You did very well out there.
Thank you. Once corruption is present, it's not hard to miss as a medic. I merely did what was right for the Empire. But I do think that it is a wise decision to send more troops. It will not just be one infected. Once it has spread this much.
It will be many. This is why we must be cold and calculated. The infected are a blight upon humanity, and they threaten our very existence. Stay strong, sister.
Of course, we will not hesitate in his light.
Sister Superior Minerva will guide us. I know you are new. But have faith.
Faith is all I have in my heart, I assure you.
Good. Because you will be tested.
And in
we
his
wouldn't
light,
we wouldn't want to find you wanting.
I'm certain that in his light we will all prevail. As will I.
Long live the Emperor.
Praise be.
And the camera fades out as the lander heads back towards the convent. At the same time... Oh, apologies. There we go. At the same time... Where is it? There we are. Yes, I'll go with the official title, I think. Canoness Commander... My notes are frozen. There we go. Canoness Commander Galatiya. You are currently in your office. And as this is 40k, the office is very much, it looks almost like a very impressive, like Gothic, religious Catholic tomb. You know, there are wall sconces with like this burning torches. There's massively beautiful like what's the glass called? The
stained glass?
Yeah, stained glass windows with depictions of previous heads of the order, of heroes and saints in battle or preaching to the masses. And you were currently by yourself. You are alerted to someone outside as they knock 1, 2, 3 quite softly.
You may enter.
The door opens and Sister Zitra walks in. She is much like the rest of the sisters. However, she has one slight difference in that she has one pupil is black, one pupil is pure white. It is the left one is pure white. And she walks in and she says, Lady Galatiya, I was instructed to remind you of your address to the order.
Yes, of course, I haven't forgotten.
Would you like me to attend you until it is time to begin?
Yes, I suppose so. When is the rest of the order due back?
Sister Rose has been sent out and should return per your orders within the next 30 minutes.
Understood. Well then, I suppose we should, yes, start to get ready for the address then.
Of course. I shall go and fetch your official robes.
Thank you.
She bows and she goes and steps out. I would say, obviously, a little bit of paperwork and things to do, filling out squad requisitions and orders, and just making sure you know everything is where everything is. Not for the first time you have thought to yourself it might be worthwhile just stealing an administratum scribe from somewhere just to do all of this kind of like busy work. Unfortunately, they were all requisitioned once the Imperial Guard started showing up, because that's a lot of administrative work out there. And you know, with the engineers having shown up, starting to fortify the whole world, has thrown everything into a bit of like, you know, hectic confusion type stuff. So hopefully soon you'll manage to nick a scribe and have them do all this kind of work for you. But I'd say maybe about 5 minutes later, you hear a like kind of staccato quick knock, and the door opens and Astera walks in. She has the same quirk with her eye, except for it's her right eye that is completely white. And she is the other of the twins. And she says, "Hey, Minnie."
Sister Astera, it's good to see you. Just saw your sister.
Yeah, she went to go get your robes. I have finished my duties. I cleaned out the entirety of the prayer hall. It's all been swept and everything. There's no more dust there.
Good.
So I thought I'd come and say hey before you started your address.
Say hey, yes,
Yeah.
I see. Well, you know what I say, sister.
What's that?
Whenever there's always more work to be done.
There is always more work to be done.
Yes. Never a free moment.
Never
here.
a free moment, no.
You know, I was just thinking we could really use perhaps a scribe, or maybe even something as simple as like a servo skull or something to help us around here with some of the menial tasks.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great idea.
It is, yes. You know what? Maybe, Astera, sister, I could appoint you to that role.
To find
in
one
getting
for you?
us- Yes, and finding one.
Ooh. I know a couple of people who I'm not massive fan of. I think if you want a servo skull, I could definitely arrange something.
You know, you don't have to. I don't need the details of how you want to complete this task. Perhaps we just more the results is what I'm looking for.
Well, and she kind of walks over to your desk, puts her hands on and like leans forward to you and she's like, "You know, Sister Rose has always had a massive stick up her butt."
Are you suggesting that we turn her into a servo skull?
I'm not suggesting anything. I'm just saying. We're just talking, you know?
Sister Astera, she is higher rank than you.
Is there really any higher rank aside from handmaiden to the Canoness? Aside from yours, of course.
Well, like I said, and you can see Minerva, there's like one
There's
little
the vein, yeah.
that's like pulsing slightly, and if you look just close enough you can see it as she's trying to keep her cool. But you can see it getting to her slightly. Like I said, it matters not to me what the results are, but I think this is something I would like to assign to you.
And there's like, it's not exactly fair, but there's kind of, once the voice comes in and the teeth are a little bit gritted, she's like, okay, I will go and find you someone to deal with your paperwork as soon as possible. Immediately. Now.
Immediately.
Okay. Good luck with the speech. You're gonna do great.
Thank you.
Okay. And she like scuttles off. As a little bit of a sidebar, the twins were handpicked by Karamia Kiel, the Canoness Superior of the Order, essentially the head of the Order. You've always wondered if she hates you for that. Because, like, they are effective in their own ways, but they all also both have their quirks to them, which can make them hard to deal with.
Yes, very much so.
And a little bit later, Zitra comes back in and helps you put on your robes, get dressed, and she says, Canoness, the squad led by Captain Rose is returning as we speak, and all sisters will be present for you in the hall in 10 minutes.
Lovely. Perfect. Well, I suppose we will do the speech first, and then we will take care of the report.
Of course, Canoness. I shall inform Captain Rose to report to you immediately after the speech.
Thank you. Much appreciated.
If there's anything else you need, please do let me know.
Of course. Thank you, sister.
She bows and steps out. You are ready to give your speech. I would say 5 to 10 minutes pass, you finish off your paperwork and all of that type of thing. And
We're setting the vibe.
Yeah. Oh, okay, yeah. All right. So, Captain Rose, and well, you're back now from the field. So, Sister Superior Rose, you and your squad, like all the other sisters, once you disembark and you stow your gear, put on your robes, you are all informed that the Canoness is going to give a speech, just essentially to lift up morale and inform everyone what's going on. You are met by Zitra, Sister Zitra, who is one of the Canoness's handmaidens, who informs you that after the speech you are expected to, along with anyone else who has pertinent information, to go and report to the Canoness in her office and give a debriefing of what happened on your excursion.
I want to add in that the moment they hear that, one, there's going to be a speech from Minerva, and then two, that Sister Rose is expected there, but anyone with pertinent information as well. Like Helestri like beams up, like there's a big smile at the thought of like, oh my God, I can go and be in the office of Minerva. So there's like
I have
genuine,
pertinent information.
yeah, it's like I think she she maybe, because she's standing in the back, there's like she begins to clap, but then she's like, oh no, like this is like I shouldn't be doing this, but there's like a little squeal, like ooh.
a completely blank face, like Helestri's just sitting there, but there's like a kind of muffled like muffling the
There's like and then there's like the trying to hide a smile, like
yeah. And so after a little time has passed, you are all ushered into the meeting hall again. Very gothic church, like big kind of arches and stained glass windows, and there's statues and effigies and prayer. For now, it is mostly cleared so that the I would say you have around about 200 to 300 sisters in total. About 200, let's say 300. About 200 of those are battle sisters. So they're squads, they're fighters, and then you have the additional support and help around the place. And then you've got all the others who aren't as important, who are like servitors and whatnot. Although, again, not as many as you'd like, because they have been requisitioned for now to deal with all the extra work around. And, pardon me. And so, as you all are ushered in, a silence descends, and walking in to stand up on the plinth on the dais, overlooking you all, Sister Minerva walks in with oh crap, I can't remember the name of them off the top of my head. What are the babies called?
Oh, the little cherubs?
The cherubs, yes.
Yeah.
With two cherubs flying behind her, holding her cape up just off the ground. And as you turn around to face the dais and to face everyone in there, they drop it and they come to hang on each one on each of your shoulders, just floating there, wings flapping. because this is the sisters. Even though it's weird and uncomfortable, you gotta have cherubs.
Hellas is absolutely smitten the moment Minerva enters.
And Minerva is donning the robes of the colors and the seals of our order, the Order of Pure Intent, the half black, half white, with the symbols of our order, elegantly decorated across, with purity seals. Also, on the side of her belt, you see them with various prayers and hymns of the Sisters of Battle. And she takes just a quick moment. There's probably like a pause for a second, as she looks out into all and begins to look at all of her fellow sisters in front of her. She looks at everybody in the eye and takes that moment, and then addresses the crowd. Sisters of pure intent, let the roar of my faith drown out the whispers of heresy. Let the fire of righteousness melt away the shadows of doubt. For today, we do not merely stand upon the precipice of battle, but at a crossroads of eternity. Let there be no seeds of doubt or rebellion with all that surrounds us. Though there may be mere echoes of rebellion against the divine will of our Emperor, we are not sheep to be frightened by whispers in the dark. We are the daughters of He who sits upon the golden throne, the storm that cleanses the warp's taint, the blade that severs the tendrils of heresy. We were not forged in the fires of comfort, sisters. We were not cradled in the arms of ease. Our faith is tempered in the furnace of trial, our resolve honed in the whetstone of sacrifice. We have stared into the abyss of the warp, and we have lived. We have walked through the valley of the shadow of all demons, and we emerge untouched. Think you then, any who dare to upstart a rebellion, think that you can stand against us? Think you some whispers fleeting in the shadows can shake the mountain of our devotion? Nay, sisters, we are the avalanche that crushes dissent, the tidal wave that cleanses corruption. They may paint us as fanatics. They call us blind instruments, but that does not matter to us. In our obedience, we wield the might of millions of righteous souls, and in our devotion burns the extinguishable fire of His holy will. So I say to all of my sisters, for the Emperor of all mankind, purge the unclean, burn the heretic. In the Emperor's name, let none survive. And she clicks her heels in that and stands true to all of you.
And as you do that, you hear the synchronous click as all of the heels clash together, and all of the sisters make the sign of the Aquila, and a multitude of voices scream, "For the Emperor!" And now that I've given it a second to breathe, I desperately want to say that all I wanted to do in that moment was have all of the sisters go, "Ow! Ow!" It took everything I had to resist doing that, and some 300 shit right there.
May you all feel invigorated with the fire.
Oh, I'm so glad I chose this track for it.
Now
It
go
felt
out
really
there
well.
and murder some shit.
Yes.
Now find more scared villagers and burn them. Yeah. Okay, so we don't need the inspirational speech music now. Yeah, I think honestly, there's not more needed than that. So unless you'd like to give out any kind of things. I think you can probably with your cherubs in tow just exit out, and then let's go with Captain Rose. I'm assuming you'll want to take your Medicaid with you. Is there anyone else you'd like with you reporting to the Canoness?
No, because I would know that the only one that had intimate knowledge of the incident would be Sister.
Yeah.
Alestri.
Okay. In that case, Zitra, after the speech and everyone is kind of, and people start moving off to do the duties and everything along those lines, she comes up to you and she says, Sister Rose.
Sister?
The Canoness will see you now.
Thank you.
Please, this way. And you follow her through, Helestri, you follow alongside, and within a little bit of time, you are brought into the Canoness's office, as has been previously described. And I will allow you to make your report and everything. I will be back. I've needed to pee for about 10 minutes, but I don't want to miss. I don't want to miss the speech. So I was like sitting here, like this is really cool. I gotta pee.
It wasn't a natural cause, right?
No. It was some form of like mutation, chaos, infection, heresy. So
okay, cool.
Definitely not natural. Essentially
Chaos magic.
for the extra information, the most likely answer is either some form of operative has infiltrated the area and infected them as to intend to like start to spread it, or possibly they found something in the mine that's messing with them, or they found something artifacts that's messing with things like
something external. Yep.
Yeah, definitely something enemy related.
Cool.
Okay. Bear back.
I don't know what the most like formal or respectful way to greet someone is. Like I don't imagine it's bowing. I imagine it's like either clicking the heels, like hand above the heart, like I don't know. But definitely imagine like the most like formal and respectful way of greeting someone that Helestri does that. Like she's walking behind Seraph, and like the moment they enter the room, stand there, she like does that, like maybe clicking the heels, like hand above the heart, like. But she won't speak first.
Sister Superior. And I will bow my head.
Yes, Sister Rose. You return.
Indeed. Here to report.
Yes, a full debriefing should be in order. How did things go?
Well, sister, your intuition is nothing but spotless. We found a sign of infected. One. As per orders, we purged them, and I would like to request additional troops, a detachment, to be placed in the town. I feel like this is not one coincidence. As we know, heresy is not a coincidence. It is planned.
You see her, you see Minerva kind of pensive for a moment and taking in the news that you have brought. Yes, perhaps that should be in order then. Tell me, what was it specifically that you spotted? This infection. Perhaps, what are the details of it?
I myself did not bear witness to the infected. However, and I will turn, Sister Halestri here determined the infected and found them, rooted them out, and then purged them herself. She can recollect all of the details. And she will turn and have her hands behind her back and look at you.
Is Minerva also looking as if like go ahead?
Yes, you see her turn to you as Sareth does, and her chin is up, kind of looking down, expecting a report.
Oh yeah, cool.
In expectance, yeah.
The moment her glances to Halestri, she also bows her head, and she's like, "Canoness Commander, yes, we found one miner in there who was infected by some corruption. Now, since all we had is the one person, I could determine that from the smell of it and from the sight of the person, the miner, there was a corruption there of some sort of external source. So either the miners found something in the mine, and he is definitely not the only case in there, or perhaps something came to them and corrupted them. Either it is a coincidence that they found something, or very likely there's something that came there and corrupted him. So, yes, as Sister Seraph already said, we rooted out the problem and we burned it down. Although, could I suggest something?
You may.
Right. Perhaps it is wise that if more troops are sent, that perhaps if more of this corruption is found, a sample of sorts is to be taken so that we can find the exact source of the corruption where possible. Of course, it is only my suggestion.
A sample?
She bows her head immediately,
Sister Halestri, do you understand what you are suggesting? A sample of infected flesh being brought here to our most sacred place.
I am so sorry, Sister Seraph. I should
That
not
is
have.
Inviting the enemy to our doorstep. Even letting them in.
It is
Sister
all right,
Supreme.
Sister Seraph.
She
You are
nods her
right,
head.
yes. And she raises her hand for a moment. You are right in that is quite a risk to bring it right to our doorstep. We should not have it here, of course. But Sister Halestri, she is certainly eager to discover the source of said heresy, and
I apologize. Sister Supreme, she is under my leadership.
of course. You all did well in taking care of the problem quickly. But yes, we should definitely make sure that it does not return or is not active elsewhere. So we should certainly keep an eye. And if we want to, perhaps, find a source, no, we shouldn't be the ones to keep it here and experiment or test things. But perhaps there are others we can utilize for said task. It is something we will consider, at least.
As you're speaking, and as a quick question, because I wasn't here, are you sat or are you stood in front of the desk?
I'm standing, and I actually, Minerva was kind of looking out one of the stained glass windows for a moment.
The classic leader, hands behind the back,
Yep,
like
hands behind the back, exactly as
I
you
am thinking and being strategic.
exactly.
Okay. As you are discussing and talking, Sister Zetra, the door like clicks open and she slips in with a tray. The tray is quite ornate, golden, and as she comes and sets the tray down on your desk, it is it has a big kind of like glass and gold, so it's like got some metals around the rim and stuff, but it's see-through like glass. It's a big kind of jug that seems to be like bubbling very slightly in the center of it, and the water is tinged with this kind of like rose and gold like kind of tint. There's a big there's a big almost like rock type thing in the middle that appears to be letting off like a few bubbles and stuff like that. This is a tea called sativa. It is a tea made of essentially some leaves of a flower and rock salt that when it comes in contact with water, it heats up and lets off like this kind of like rose taste.
Ooh.
It is something that you got a taste for when you got assigned to the planet, as it is found here. And she sets it down and she says, "Your tea, Canoness."
Thank you, sister.
I provided extra cups for the sisters, and I regret to inform you that you do have a guest waiting for your attention. He is being reasonably insistent at this point.
All right. Well, Sister Sarath, Palestri, we can continue this discussion at a later time. Thank you for the report, and I am happy to hear everything was taken care of. We will discuss what the next steps are, but I do have other matters to attend to.
Of course, Sister Supreme. The Emperor protects. And she will salute and turn heel and she'll stare at Halestia to do the same before
The moment she says something about us, she will immediately follow and say, like, "Praise be, thank you, Canoness Commander. Enjoy your tea." And then she also like turns.
Is there like a moment of like, oh, I really wanted to try the tea? You know, like...
It's not necessarily I really wanted to try the tea. It's the idea alone that she might have like been invited to stay and drink with her.
Okay. As you step out of the office back into the main kind of hallway, you see a best way to describe. You see what appears to be a. Actually, you would have both have seen this person before around. This is Magos Creon. He is a tech priest, a quite high-ranking tech priest. He is hunched over. He's almost longer than he is tall, and every now and then you see like a little whip of like a kind of mechanical-looking tendril come out from underneath his robes, which are red and gold. And what you can see of him is all twisted wires and tubes and metal. He has this kind of Yeah, as I said, he's not massively tall. He's very long, and as he moves, you hear like little scrapings of metal and things. As you step out, he is standing there with his like large mechanical stick in one hand. It almost seems like he's propping himself up with it. You don't have to say anything to him or anything, just to highlight what he looks like as you walk past him.
I'm assuming he's like higher rank or something.
He is here at the request and under the protection of Inquisitor Gisholt, who is one of the benefactors of the order.
Yeah. I won't say anything, and I won't stop if Seraph doesn't. But I'll definitely like give a little head bow.
Yeah. Sareth, how do you feel about the Mechanicus?
Machines. They hold no faith for the Emperor.
Yeah, they have some iffy beliefs.
Their own person. I forget who they're called.
The Omniscience.
Yes,
the
thank you.
Omniscience.
Thank you. And yes, I agree. It's
Praise the God Toaster.
yeah. It's sus.
I'm assuming you'll have him enter now, Minerva.
Yes. We'll have him enter.
He like with every step he takes, which is, I'm gonna say, almost more like a scuttle. It's not fast, it's quite ponderous, but he enters and he walks up to your desk. Are you still like staring out the stained glass window, or have you sat down yet?
As he walks in, she still takes a moment to stare out, and will eventually turn to face him. Magos, please. She actually, in a courteous way, does pour some tea. I don't even know if tech priests can drink tea, but she won't do anything offensive if like he's like, actually, I can.
I'm very tempted. I'm very tempted to have him reach out to like put his finger in it and just like.
Yeah. But Sister Minerva will be polite. She's not gonna do anything that would offend the tech priest, but she will at least pour some for herself at least.
He like nods and kind of, there's like a movement in his robes, and there's kind of like a manipulator mechadendrite like slithers out from the side, goes over and like pours himself one, and then kind of takes the cup and moves it towards what looks like his face. Like, you can see eyes. There is kind of like a mess of like tubes and wires, and as he pulls it towards, like the mess of tubes just kind of almost like what's his name in Pirates of the Caribbean, the squid guy. Davy Jones. Yeah. Like these metallic tubes just kind of like slither away from his mouth and like reveal a mouth and like pours some in, and then he puts it down and says, "Canoness, I have come to report an illogical behavior from one of your sisters."
She raises an eyebrow at this and takes a sip slowly from the tea. Oh, I see. Do tell what this report is.
Not 15 minutes and 20 seconds ago did I find one of your handmaidens in my offices looking through my things. She has told to me that she was looking for something for you.
Oh my god.
As she is one of your handmaidens, I did not immediately eliminate her. However, you could classify me as being overly upset.
I see. Well, I do apologize for such actions. I will make sure it is handled. Might you describe the particular... I do have 2 handmaidens, but just to be sure, might you describe what they look like?
I believe she has one completely white iris in her left eye. We have had dealings with both of your handmaidens before. This one is referred to as Astera.
Yes. Well, I do take these types of reports very seriously. So if there's any other details of the incident that you would like to share, I will make sure it gets logged and properly filed and taken care of, as with all reports. You will need to fill out one of these forms. And she pulls out a report form for such incidents and places it in front of him. As you know, Magos, we do have to go through the proper procedures for these kinds of things. So, and she slides it across her desk in front of him.
There's a couple of like words and clicks and etc. And then the Magos continues. I do not believe an official complaint will be needed in these circumstances, seeing as I am considered to be your guest and you are most graciously providing guard and support to my research under Inquisitor Gisselt. However, I would like it on record that if you are in need of things such as servo skulls, you need but send a request to me. I will be happy to see what I can accomplish for you. And also, I would like an unofficial caveat that your handmaiden is to stay out of my laboratory.
Understood.
I see no need for the filling of these forms as it stands. However, if this occurs on a second occasion, I will fill out 3 forms, no less.
Yes. Well, let it be on my half and the Order's behalf that I do apologize for such interruptions that one of my handmaidens would have upon your own studies and entering into your personal space. So with that, it will not happen again.
I appreciate this. She patted my head.
Oh my god. You see her shift a little bit in her chair at this, in more uncomfortability. It's like, oh god. Well, I was in search of, now that we do, you are here, we are talking about it. I was in search of a servo skull to assist me in some duties here. And if you do have one that you would be willing to spare, it is not of the most top priority, of course. That would be much appreciated for the Order.
I do have a menial who has not been able to keep up with my extensive research notes. They have fallen behind and precious time was lost. I have put in a requisition for better menials. You may have this one if you like.
That would be much appreciated. Thank you, Magos.
He inclines his head and then carries on. If you are in communication anytime soon with the Inquisitor, please tell him my report will be sent to him forthwith, and that research is progressing smoothly, aside from some slowdowns with insufficient menial labor.
I will be sure to give the Inquisitor that report. Thank you for the updates, and if there's anything, any of my sisters, perhaps not the handmaidens, of course, but if there's anything that we can do to help you, do not hesitate to reach out to me.
Of course, your hospitality is appreciated, and there is nothing that will be required aside from if you can maybe see it in your graciousness as host to send down a jar of that tea at some point. I would be much appreciative. It was quite nice.
It is quite delightful, isn't it? Yes, I would be happy to send you some.
Appreciation is sent, Canoness. And with that, and not even a goodbye or anything, protocol and, that sounds difficult. He squeaks and mechanicals and shuffles back out.
And she takes another sip of her tea and takes a moment, realizing she's gonna have to deal with this and do some reprimanding. Not her favorite thing to do, but pissing off a tech priest even a little bit is not always a good thing. So something must be done of this.
So just to give you a little bit of a vibe check on your sanctuary here. Obviously you're in charge. Executive decisions always come down to you. And the only person who has any full, aside from obviously much higher ups in the ecclesiarchy and things like inquisitors just in general, the only person who has a direct overruling of anything you say or do would be the Canoness Superior. So even other Canoness commanders from other cathedrals or anywhere on other planets, they're equal to you at best. The Inquisitor Gisholt, who's the one who actually is the patron, the one who helped found the Order of Pure Intent, he puts in requests, and in general they are nearly always agreed to, acquiesced to, just purely because he is influential. He helps you with your recruiting, but even him, if he gave you an order, and it's kind of down to you. It's better for you to agree, but in terms of his guests, well, the only guest he has here at the moment is the Magos, Romecrian Kreen. Is technically it's Romecrian Kreen, but yeah. And then the other guests you have currently is a commissar called Collier Rolat, who is currently dealing with the PDF, and you've essentially been requested to assign squads to him when he goes out, because he has had things thrown at him, and a couple of times people have tried to kill him. Which is just standard fare for a commissar, really. You also have Lieutenant Velvek, Machine Velvek, of the Engineering Corps. She is in charge of organizing the defenses of the planets, a lot of administrative work, a lot of, you've seen her a few times, but she's essentially like the reason she's here is because it's one of the safest places on the planet at this point, and because it's comfier and nicer than a lot of the places on the planet at this point.
Got it.
But in those terms, none of them have any type of say over you.
Right.
Like, if you wanted, and this is purely, like, you know, it's not something, I don't think it's something you do. If you wanted, you could probably execute all three of them and be like, yeah, they pissed me off. And then,
Right. No.
like, you know, like, you'd have a lot of difficulties from it, you know, and everything. But, yeah, like, that's the kind of power you wield. In terms of the planet, I'd say only the planetary governor and his council, a defense council, have any type of sway over you at all. If you wanted, you can pretty much do your own thing. They would have a hard time, like, politically or militarily putting pressure on you. The only thing they could do is they do have an entire planet army, which they could send at you if they wanted, but...
Right.
Even then, like, God, the fortress, the chapel fortress you have here is pretty heavily defended.
Yeah.
So.
Just drop it on somebody, you know, it's easy.
Yeah.
So just okay.
Just take their parking spot.
Yeah, exactly.
I just wanted to give you a vibe idea of like how much you need to worry about like the Magos.
Right. Those kinds of complaints. I still think, you know, I think that Minerva will have some disciplinary action.
Yeah, absolutely.
But that's good. Like, it's like, you insulted a tech priest? Well, we're going to chop off your hands now. So I'm like, no, we're not going to do that. That's good to know. Yes. So, I guess Sister Minerva will, she will kind of take a moment and kind of go back to some of the work she was doing and eventually call in, Sister, Astera at some point.
I do have a piece of information for you. Sorry, carry on. But I'm just going to send you something that you know that not many other people know.
Okay, cool. Oh, secrets.
Do you know what that means?
Wait, did you send me something?
Yeah, I sent you a DM.
Why did I not get it? Hold on. Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah. Got it.
That's something at this point you probably will want to know just for like, yeah. There's a reason for, yeah.
Got it. Okay. Yes. So, that's when, if, you know, Sister Zitra does happen to walk in, I would say, like, if you wouldn't mind getting your sister, Astera, I would like to have a word with her at some point.
Yes, Canoness. Is she in trouble?
Well, between us, she did happen to upset one of the, Magos, Crean was his name?
Crean, yeah.
Yes. She happened to upset him. I did send her on what I thought would be a menial task, and she happened to upset Magos Crean. So I'm going to have a talk with her about it. Trouble. For now, it's more of a verbal warning.
Of course, Canoness. I will hunt her down to the ends of the world.
Thank you.
And Zitra like turns and walks out and closes the door, and you hear this like of heavy footsteps running away as Zitra heads off to capture her sister. So, go. I think this is a good time for us to check in with just the general state of everything in a bit more detail than what we did in the intro. There has been chatter through official channels of possible infiltrators from the heretics. We're talking the enemy, chaos, those planets that have fallen. So there is a possibility that they have managed to infiltrate parts of the planet. For what purpose? Not really sure. Most likely to seduce and turn
Botchery.
Yeah, some of the citizenry to start uprisings, that type of thing. So essentially, you've been told to be aware of these instances, these possibilities. Aside from that, there is an Imperial Guard outfit. They are the Cadian 218th. Just an infantry regiment with some, mechanical support. They are sending out a force to go and land and strike a certain place on the planet. Essentially, they're going to try and establish a beachhead. If they fail, they'll retreat back, but they have a manufactory that's producing weapons and vehicles of war that they want to take out. It has been put into request for you to assist. You don't have to, but if you want to send a squad or two out there, it's down to you. Aside from that, there are reports coming in every now and then of an illness or of possible unrest, or some of them are like small disagreements, like a fight in a bar. Some of them are like manufactory workers, having a bit of a fight or a riot, PDF killed, Arbites killed, that type of thing. I guess my question would be, Sister Minerva, where do you want to focus your resources here? Like, obviously you can pretty much do as much as you want. Like, if you want to send a squad with the Imperial Guard, you can. Like, that's easy enough. But like, you've got the report coming from Captain Rose and your
Yes.
Hospitaller as well.
Yes. I think the two biggest concerns would be, yes, the possible like illnesses or whatever is happening spreading. So making sure we find that and kind of take care of that.
Okay.
And then also the infiltrators or any, talks of like uprising or rebellion, any of that. I think Sister Minerva also wants to nip that in the bud before that gets too much in our sector.
Okay.
So I would say those are her two biggest concerns right now.
You do also have a bit of sway with an Inquisitor, If you'd like to, you can always request some assistance from him. But again, like, I wouldn't necessarily say you're worried yet. Like, the planet seems reasonably secure. There's more guard regiments en route. There's whispers even of a couple of chapters of the Astartes maybe being sent out here to help. Well, not chapters, sorry. Detachment of chapters, So it'd be a couple of squads or something, maybe. A company,
got it.
possibly. But if you are intending on investigating and looking for agents and things, having some help from an Inquisitor would not be terrible. So.
Yes, that makes sense. Okay. Where does the Inquisitor currently reside? Are they like, if we gave them a call, like, would they be like, all right, I'll be there, be there in 30 years, like, oh, we have to set up some time with them. They have to, 3 to 5 business days. They come to the planet. We have a whole thing. Because I know they're pretty important, so I don't know how busy they would be for us.
So I would say of recent, the Inquisitor has been in the sector, as far as you're aware. He's a bit hard to pin down, mostly because Inquisitors never want anyone to know where they are. I'd say at the very least, within a week you'd receive some form of assistance. It may not be the Inquisitor themselves though.
Okay, got it.
But it's very possible you'll get some agents of his, so probably an interrogator, maybe some, assassins, some mechanicus. Yeah, a typical Dark Heresy party, basically.
Right. Okay. All right. I think maybe not immediately. I think Minerva's first step is like, okay, we find where the problem, like get an idea of where the problem is. So we don't want to just like start throwing out like, all of these, like, okay, help. Like, I think she wants to be like, okay, we're the Sisters of Battle. We can handle a lot of things on our own. Like, we want to at first identify the problem, and then we need to pull in people for help. That, that'll be the next step. So I think she'd want to get her order to, in order and start, perhaps
at a covert detachment.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, start looking into things.
So kind of like the Hospitaller like technique is diagnose the problem so you know what tools you need to fix it, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Instead of just trying to fix all of the symptoms, figure out where the infection is and
yes.
burn it, possibly, because that's what Lestri did.
But
Yes.
no, I couldn't take a sample.
A sample is heresy. All heresy must be purged.
True.
Thinking otherwise is a sin.
All right. Well, there's a lot. Obviously, there's a lot of places where you can investigate and where you can send your sisters. You know
That could
what?
be an infected nest in the mines.
Could be. I will ask you, Sister Minerva, and if you'd like to, at the very least, bring in Sister Superior Rose or her
Yes.
squad.
I think at this point, she
okay.
would bring her in for this kind of discussion.
So the and just because this is something you guys know, but the viewers don't know, as I don't think I've mentioned it. Sister Superior Rose is the de facto XO of the squad. The squad is a specialized, essentially almost like executive military squad. So when Sister Minerva goes into battle, she goes into battle with this squad. It's almost like a command squad. So she will lead this squad into battle when she fights. And Sister Superior Rose takes the XO position, the executive officer, the second in command. When Sister Minerva sends them out without her, Sister Superior Rose becomes captain. She leads the squad, proper full in command officer. So the squad itself is reasonably elite and reasonably, in the know, and it's probably one of the better squads in this part of the order at the moment. So if you just to explain that, if you wanted, having the squad come in would make sense. Just if you wanted to kind of like have them all there, but also, as she's your XO second in command all the time, having Sister Superior Rose in would make a lot of sense for like dishing out some orders. Sister Rose, you are called in. Do you want to bring any of the rest of the squad in, or just let her kind of disseminate the information later?
I will brief my squad on the details.
Okay.
Just to add though, would Seraph have like just left it at the situation in the office and like them parting ways, or would she have still like said anything? Because she was like upset in the office, you know? Yeah, because we skipped over that, but
Oh, apologies. Yeah, no, that is a good point.
I just was curious. Because they went out and they saw the Magos and then...
Would Sister Rose have dressed down Helestri for her suggesting a sample be taken?
So, flashback to the point where we are leaving and the tech priest is entering. After the doors close, she will turn and she will look at Helestri and go, Sister Helestri, you are under my command.
Yes, of course.
And I do not take lightly to ideas of sedition. Your curiosity blinds you, fogs your judgment. What you insinuated to Sister Minerva is blasphemy. I will not have such thoughts or actions be done under my squad. Do I make myself clear?
Yes, of course, Sister Superior. I am terribly sorry about suggesting any of the sort.
Do not apologize to me. Tonight, you will repent. And you will pray for forgiveness from the Emperor himself. Tomorrow is a new day. And I am not the one to forgive you. The Emperor is.
Anything
But we must always follow in his light. Don't you agree?
Anything you ask, Sister Seraph, I will happily and devoutly follow. Of course, I will repent tonight, as I do every night, with joy in my heart.
Good. See to it that it continues. Sister Minerva is quite busy and does not have time to toy with such blasphemous ideas. You are a very skilled healer, Sister Helestri. Oh my goodness. Helestri. It would be a shame to lose you.
I assure you, no such thing will happen, Sister Superior.
Excellent. I do agree, though, that there should be a separate detachment to look into the infection. That being said, since you had extremely intimate relations with the patient before burning and purging him,
Sister Helestri.
Seeing as you banged him.
you
Seeing
touched
as you
him,
went to his bed.
you touched him, and now you got the cooties.
How dare you?
I'm sorry. Oh.
Technically, I did go to his bed.
You did to his bedside.
You did.
Yes.
I will see if Sister Minerva will consider a separate detachment and those that are also under Medicae profession. If this is approved, you will lead the other Medicae sisters. Are we clear?
It would be a great honor, Sister Superior. I would gladly accept if Canoness Commander would agree to it, of course.
Good. Consider this an opportunity, sister, to prove yourself to Sister Superior.
I consider every time I get to go out with you and your troop an opportunity as well to prove myself in his light. So, more of that is only welcome. I will gladly accept. Thank you for your support.
Good. And one more word of advice. You are lucky to be in my squad. For any other sister, if they were to hear of such an idea, they would report you to an Inquisitor immediately.
She gives a little head bow, and she says, I would only expect so much from someone who has already proven himself so much to our Emperor. Thank you, Sister Superior.
You are dismissed.
She stands up and like waits for her to walk away. I will add in this entire conversation, she she wouldn't say that to Seraph, but when she was like, how would you dare to suggest something like that? She in her head only thought like, but Minerva seemed to kind of like the idea. Like she was thinking those things in her head. She was like, but mommy didn't notice me, but she liked it. Um but those thoughts are definitely going on in her head where she's like, she doesn't understand why Seraph is making such a big fuss out of this. All she would have wanted to say is, chill down, dude. It's not such a big deal. But she wisely kept that in her head. Because if she would have said that, Seraph would have not just been okay with take penance tonight.
Okay. In that case, Sarith, you a little bit later, you're called into the office to speak again to Sister Minerva. Before that happens, though, there is something for you, something that happens. I think probably a little bit after Sister Rose heads off, which is a reasonably bedecked with like implants and mechanical pieces comes to see you, Sister Helastri. And he says, I think this is the right one. Are you Sister Praxera?
Yes, I don't believe we've met before.
I am Menial 7, working under Magos Biologus.
So is that the guy who was visiting?
Yes, that is the one who came to complain about the thief to the
Okay.
sister.
Okay, cool. Um, yes, one of our most esteemed guests. Can I help you?
Magos biologist Cree 1N requests your presence in his outer lab to discuss your recent excursion.
Um, I'm assuming this isn't anything I need to keep secret, right? Because I'm like wondering, do I need like permission from higher up to speak about the missions? Like,
The Magos biologist is a very high-ranking, kind of biology-based tech priest. So, he's all about all the kind of biological research and things along those lines. I would say you'd probably, especially considering what just happened, you probably want to run it up the flagpole with at least Sister Superior Rose. But seeing as he's outside of, even though he's like quite high ranking, he's outside of the order and the chain of command. It's probably best to speak to Sister Minerva as well, just to clear it with her first. I doubt you just immediately go there and be like, "Yo, what's up? Let's talk about illness."
all right. Knowing that, I'll say, right. Seeing as it is about our most recent excursion, I will get clearance for that as soon as possible and join the Magos in his office when I have permission to divulge on the information. Is that suitable?
Processing. This response is 67% expected and is within acceptable boundaries of my parameters. I will inform the Magos that you will most likely see him in due time.
Thank you so much for doing your job. I will be around as soon as possible, I assure you.
Assurances are unnecessary. The Magos will see you soon.
Take care now. Uh, and she like waits to see if they turn around, and then just like, oh well, yep.
I have been instructed under the orders of the Magos to take nothing. I will leave now.
Uh, as it leaves,
Yeah.
she just like stands there and is like, I don't think I'll ever get used to that. But they are a guest, so I guess we'll have to stick around with it a little bit more. They don't put any human emotions in it, do they? Oh. And as she turned around, I think she will dally a little bit because I think she's a little bit confrontation avoidant. So seeing as she just had like Seraph basically say like, you done goofed, you better go and repent. Um, she's gonna wait until I think like LS3 hasn't been here the longest time,
Yeah.
but I think she has been around Seraph enough to know that um like she can hope that she can get in a better mood if Seraph like finds something that piques her interest or like gets pleased in a certain way, then she'll be in a better mood again and she might be easier on Halestri instead of her like going to bother her right now because she imagines if she goes to her right now, she'll just be like, why the fuck you in my sight, bro? I just like dismissed you.
Yeah.
Um So she'll dally around and very slowly make her way around the fortress. Maybe see if she can help some places, do some small
Hey,
tasks for people, all to prolong her having to look out Seraph. Because she can't just look out Minerva without going through Seraph.
maybe do a couple hundred Hail Emperors.
Yeah, like just go repent already,
Yeah.
and then just go help people around.
All right. In that case, as Helestri is dilly-dallying, as it were, maybe doing a few prayers and
Girly stuff.
yeah. Some melee practice and shooting practice when you get the chance. Yeah. We will fade in back to the office where I imagine at this point Sister Minerva's feeling like she's just stuck in administrative hell.
Such as the burdens.
Such as the burdens. Okay. So so far, where is it? Yes. Sister Zitra has not returned with her wayward sister. I'm gonna say wayward twin because if I keep saying sister, it gets confusing as hell. Sister Superior Rose has reported. Rose, are you standing at attention, or is this a bit more of a more informal sit down?
She would be standing at attention until told otherwise.
Okay. I just wanted to get a bit of a feel for the relationship, like personal relationship between you both. Going off the vibes, I feel like trusted sergeant, but not necessarily friends. It would be the vibes.
I get the vibes that Sister Seraph is like always on.
Yeah.
Like never like turns off,
Yeah,
essentially.
Vacation, what is that word?
Yeah, exactly.
What is that? I don't know. Free time?
Chill?
Yeah.
What is that? I don't
Yes.
chill.
I will
Yes.
take a vacation and bathe in the light of the Emperor's embrace.
Exactly.
The
Yes.
student equivalent of free time. I get to study more. Yay! Like
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. So I think Sister Minerva will does appreciate the seriousness at all times, like when Sister Seraph like walks in and is like at attention, and she does like acknowledge that, and then after like the formalities, she will eventually like tell her to kind of at ease and have a seat.
Yeah.
She will then have a seat as instructed.
And Minerva will even go as far as pouring more tea, actually.
Okay.
And will offer some tea to Sister Seraph if she would like to take some. If you would like. She pours some and hands it to her.
Thank you, Sister Minerva. Your kindness knows no bounds.
Of course.
If only I could bend my arm enough to sip the tea, but I have to stand at attention the whole time.
Yeah, exactly. I would like to get your input on our situation at hand, specifically the incident that your group dealt with today. I know that there were suggestions brought up from some within your order, but I wanted to see what you thought and get your thoughts on the situation and what you think we should do to take care of it.
Well, Sister Superior, I would like to formally apologize for my lack of leadership and my subordinates' blasphemous ideas.
It is, and she raises a hand before you go any further. It is quite all right. I appreciate you stepping up on behalf of your own subordinates. That shows a lot of strength and a lot of responsibility. And it shows that you are the right person to be placed as second in command, as XO of this order. You are willing to step up and do what needs to be done and say what needs to be said, no matter the cost, on behalf of the Emperor. So I must respect and appreciate that. But do not worry. There's been more than one incident today where perhaps things and certain individuals step out of line. But those things will be dealt with, and in some ways are menial comparative to some of the issues at hand.
Understood. I would like to state, though, that my subordinate, though she is new and young, she is determined and passionate, and her heart is in the right place. Her heart is with the Emperor.
And that is why we have her.
Well, if I may, sister, I would formally request a separate detachment sent to the town, not just of bolters, but those of Medicae, under the guise that we will be healing those that are infected. While yes, we will give aid to those that are ill or seek help, for they are weaker than we are, we may also root out the source of the infection silently. I fear whatever they may have found in the mines may have given us our first clue.
Yes.
Possibly a nest of some sorts, where the infection writhes and grows.
Yes, I do think that may be one of the first places we must look. And I agree. I think we should approach with this detached group as there to aid. If word gets around that there is some sort of heretical infection spreading among this sector that could cause panic among many. So I think this should be something kept close to our chests, to our order, and for those who were involved, we keep it among them and we don't spread it out to... I won't let the Inquisitor know quite yet, but there may be, if things are, depending on how the situation is, we may want to involve the Inquisitor, but I think for now, we keep it among our order and the smaller group.
Understood. I feel as though our sisters can handle such a task.
I think they are more than capable, yes.
That being said, I would like to request one more thing, Sister Superior.
Yes, what is it?
The detachment with Medicae sisters. I would like Sister Palestri to head their group. For she has, as we know, intimate knowledge
Yes.
of the first infected.
The one who spoke about obtaining these samples, you would like to lead.
Please do not take my suggestion as a sign of treason. I just feel that she is more experienced than myself or the rest of our sisters. And she may be able to find the root of the problem. And I feel that it would save multiple of our sisters from barreling into the mines, because we do not know what we will find.
She nods. No, you are right. She's a hospitaller. This is her expertise, and she did see it firsthand, unlike the rest of us. So I will agree to this. She can lead the detachment.
I will watch her closely, and we will allow the civilians to continue mining. And the ones that return infected, we will send them to Sister Halestri for treatment.
Yes.
And do not worry, Sister Superior. The infected crave fire of absolution.
And we
shall give them just that.
And we both say it at the same time. I love that.
Long live the Emperor.
May the Emperor's light be with you.
She nods.
Okay.
First thing tomorrow, then.
Sister, might I speak plainly?
Of course.
I have concerns about the tech priest. I know it is not my business, but I care for our sister's safety. And I know that while they do provide us with our ammunition and our armor, I feel we must be careful. So this detachment, I feel they must not get too involved.
Yes. Well, I understand your concerns, and we should keep an eye out, to say the least, but the Magos is a special guest among us, so we must treat them with the most hospitality that we sisters have.
Of course, sister.
But I will take your concerns to note, and we will keep our eyes out, to say the least.
Understood.
Thank you, Sister Sareth.
Thank you, Sister Superior. The Emperor protects, and she will salute.
Okay. And head off, or?
Yes, she will salute and then leave when she's dismissed.
Okay.
Yep.
As you are leaving and you walk off back to your duties, obviously, it's no relaxing. You have sisters to shout at and berate.
There's no relaxing when there is heresy to be purged.
Could I illustrate this very slightly, with your permission, Halestri? That as she walks off from round the corner, the camera is like following her from the front, and you just see like Halestri like peek her head out of a column, and just be
I
like,
was about to say, like, imagine the next like hour or so, like she's just like keeping close and like watching to see what Seraph does, to like choose the exact right moment to like bother her, right? So she's like peeking around corners, like standing and like um she's definitely watching what Seraph is doing, and like if there's like a right moment where she just like had a good conversation with another sister where like her morale was boosted or something, like she's waiting for the right moment. But until then, she's stalking, baby.
Yeah. Okay. And you want to speak to Sister Minerva, right?
No, I'm assuming it's not done for me to go to Minerva directly, even though like Helestri probably would love to. Like she would love nothing more. But I think it's probably not done.
Okay.
Uh
So you want to go through Sister Superior Rose?
Want to is one word. Have to is another word.
Valid. Okay. In that case, let's say for the next hour, maybe even 2 hours, Sister Rose, is there any moment where you don't seem angry and like you will shout at people for coming anywhere near you?
Come on, like a moment where
She is pure zealot. She is like got like when they said she had a stick up her bum, man, it's not a stick. It is one of the redwoods at this point.
I have an idea.
Okay.
If like say 2 hours passed and she's noticing like nothing's really happening to like boost like Seraph up, she Helestri has an idea and she initiates like him. So she initiates like a chant for like sisters to like join in. You know, like almost like you would start like a little hymn, like, and everyone would join in because everyone knows it, and it's like a little morale boost. Like everyone can't help but join in, and then it's like everyone has a good laugh afterwards. You know, like that sort of thing. I think she would initiate that, and hoping that that little thing would like, I don't know, make Seraph a bit less angry in that certain moment.
Okay. Yeah, something along the lines of like, who wants to worship the Emperor? Who's that glorious golden throne?
Totally something like that. Yeah.
Oh, we worship at his feet, and we never admit defeat.
That was good. That was good.
That was good. Yeah.
That
was really good.
That's the best I could do. In that case, I think it will be fun for us.
Oh no, I have to roll for it.
Please roll me scholar.
The only one making rolls.
I'm not.
Well, I was going to ask you to roll earlier, Sister Minerva, but you role played your way out of it, so I was like, oh well, damn, I can't, I can't make a roll. This is just to see like whether you pick the right hymn or that's that was a lot of dice and you rolled none of them successfully, so what I would say is your choice of hymn isn't terrible, but it's just you don't know Sister Superior Rose that well. It's like her least favorite hymn. You know, it's the one that like sets her teeth vibrating and just rubs her the wrong way. So like the actual hymn itself goes really well. Like they're belting it out, it's echoing, and all you can see is like from the neck up, this like red just goes. And Sister Superior Rose is just like she gets grumpier. She starts shout. She orders like press ups and you know extra extra sword drills and all of these kind of things. She's just shouting, and you're still kind of, following behind, like keeping an eye on her. All you can see is that it hasn't gone as successfully as you would like.
Are there any other hospitaller like sisters in this fortress?
Oh yeah. There are. There's a few assigned to duties, and but I would say you're not considered the most experienced. I would say more considered the most talented.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think Helestri would mainly look for one of the hospitalers that's like been here the longest.
Okay.
And like noticing that it didn't help and that like Seraph is even like more mad. She will seek out the other sister in the fortress, the convent. And if she's not busy, she will like walk up and say, I don't know what give me a name, Sheepy.
Disora. Sister Rianne Disora.
Disora or Tisora?
Disora.
Disora. All right. She will sidle up to her if she's not busy with something urgent. And she will say, Sister Disora, could I have a moment of your time?
Of course. Sister Helestri, what is concerning you?
You see, there's this small problem I'm having currently, and I don't know how to quite get out of it. I need to go through Sister Superior Seraph. But she seems quite, mad.
Mm.
And I was thinking of ways to cheer her up, but, my efforts have been in vain. I was wondering, since you've been here longer than me, maybe you know a way to make Sister Superior Seraph, more amicable to requests. Any advice would be great advice, honestly.
Well,
Just anything.
In my experience with Sister Sarith, she's never happier than when she's executing, beating, or generally killing heretics and enemies of the Emperor. I don't believe we have any here currently, but I think the best thing you could do is just get it over with and do your best not to bring up any topics that would incense her. I do believe the worst would probably be anything to do with those Emperor-forsaken Mechanicus. They are the most aggravating to her and some of the rest of us. So avoid that and you should be good.
And just to double check, to be certain, there is no proper and respectful way I could speak to Canoness Commander Minerva without going through Sister Superior Seraph, am I right? That would be disrespectful, right?
In general, it would be difficult and disrespectful, unless it pertained to one of the guests or something directly under the purvey of Sister Canoness Minerva and nothing to do with the military dictates of the order.
what if it kind of has to do with both? Just a tiny bit. Just like very tiny, but what if it had to do with both?
Then you would be able to take either road, the one that is less dangerous would be the one I suggest. And she like looks over as Sister Rose like stomps past shouting at someone, and she says, perhaps it would be best to go speak to Sister Minerva and hope that you don't have to speak to Sister Rose.
Well, since you're suggesting it, I hadn't thought of it myself, but it sounds like a very sound idea, so perhaps I'll follow your advice. Since you're the more experienced one with the sisters here. Thank you, Sister Desora.
Always happy to help. Good luck with whatever it is you have on your mind.
Thank you. You have made sure that I now need less luck. And she heads off.
Wow. I can't believe you put that on her. She, like, the second Rose is like, well, what do you think you're doing? You're like, well, she told me to do it. It's not my fault. Damn, that's cold.
Yeah, great. She will head in the opposite direction that the storming Sister Seraph went off to.
Okay.
And as I think the proper thing to do would be to tell one of the maidens, like, hey, I have like something to ask like Minerva, right? So I think that's what she'll do. The first one she can catch either of them. It doesn't matter. She'll stop them and she'll ask them to like let her know if Minerva has like 1 minute of her time.
And I imagine Sister Minerva will be open to that. Okay. In that case, let us move a little bit in time to what we would call a hell of a dressing down, as essentially Helestri, you will be walking in. You are led in by Sister Zitra, and as you are let in, possibly this is on purpose, Sister Minerva is having a right old go at Sister Astera, who is looking a bit like humbled and you know, she's looking down. So she's standing in front of your desk. Are we going staring out the stained glass window, or are we more like hands on the desk, like poof?
I would say this is more I would say this is more in her face,
Okay.
as she's had to deal with her a couple of times in the past.
Yes.
So it's like you're at the very tail end of the, like, you are to be a representative. We are the emperor's chosen, and we are to represent ourselves in that way. You cannot just walk into a tech priest's office and you cannot rummage through these things, try to steal things. There is an order to all of this, and you just like are getting like the tail end of that that reprimanding from Sister Minerva.
And Sister Astera is nodding, and yes, Canoness, yes.
Well, it seems to be I will have to keep you to your other menial tasks of cleaning then. That is apparently all that you can be capable of at this point.
Yes, Canoness. I will. Yes, Canoness.
Yes, it seems that my robes will need another cleaning after the speech, as it took so much out of me, you know? So you will have to take care of that.
Of course, Canoness, I will go about my duties with a newfound vigor and respect for everyone, including our guests, in the sanctuary.
Yes,
May
that is all.
Yes. And she turns and like with her head a little bit bowed and kind of like shuffling contritely, she walks kind of towards and past the waiting Sister Zitra and Sister Helestri. Sister Helestri, as she walks past you, obviously, you're keeping an eye on her as she walks past you. Just with her head still bowed a little bit, she like looks up at you and just clicks a wink at you as she walks out.
She'll register that. I think it's very minimal in her thoughts, where currently when Minerva was like scolding her, she just kept looking at Minerva and being like, she's so awesome.
Yeah.
Like, look at her go. Look at her being devout and stuff. Like, all the things she's saying are so meaningful and so right. Like, God, imagine being in the same room with her. I am in the same room with her. Holy shit, I'm in the same room with her twice today. Fuck, what if she doesn't like that? No, I shouldn't focus on that. Like, that's the sort of thought
She's so
process.
cool.
So cool.
And Sister Zitra says, Canoness, I have brought Sister Helestri, as she has requested, an audience with you. Additionally, we have received a communique from Inquisitor Gisholt. I have it here with me.
Thank you, Sister Zitra, and she will take the communication from her and look over. Sister Helestri.
She immediately clicks her heel, hand over the heart, bowed head.
I was not expecting to see you walk into my office, not at least without Sister Sereth.
Yes, I am so sorry to take up more of your time. I will be swift about it. I got permission to come ask you. The Magos came, well, the servitor of the Magos came to ask me if I could visit the Magos in his office to discuss the sickness of today. And, well, since that is not something that is commonly known yet or discussed, I thought it only wise to come to you and ask your permission or advice on the matter, since he is one of your esteemed guests, of course.
Yes. Interesting that he would ask. He asked you directly, was it? Or
His servitor came to ask me.
I see. Well, the Magos should be well informed that there is a procedure for these things. He should know that he should be coming through me to speak on such matters. So, I appreciate you informing me of this, as I will be sure to handle it. I will speak to... Who was it that reached out to you? Did they give a name?
It was Magos Biologist Cree 1N.
But it was, they had one of their...
menial servitors, yeah.
Okay, the servitor. Yes, I see. I will speak to the servitor and inform them of what needs to be informed of. But yes, this is more something I would like us to keep closer to us sisters for now.
Right, of course. So I will not visit the Magos in his office, and I will keep myself out of it.
Yes, I think that would be best. I appreciate you bringing this to my attention and bringing it to my attention so quickly.
Absolutely. I wish I had not had to take up as much of your time as I already did. So I appreciate being allowed entrance a second time today. And if nothing serious happens anymore, it will be the last time you see me today, of course.
Quite all right. Sister Sareth, she did, despite everything, speak highly of you and the things that you discovered recently. And so I think you should meet with her soon, as there may be more tasks at hand for you.
Absolutely, Canoness Commander. By soon do you mean in an hour, today still, or tomorrow? Just to specify.
Likely tomorrow it will be taken care of.
No problem at all. I will gladly talk to Sister Seraph tomorrow on the matters at hand. If that suits you, of course.
It does indeed. You've done well today, Sister Hilestri.
She bows her head again and says thank you ever so much, Canoness Commander. May his light shine.
Yes.
She turns around. Dismiss, I guess. She takes hurried steps outside.
So for the final bit part, etc. I'm assuming you want to get to the communique from the Inquisitor.
Yes, I would like to, see that report.
Okay. It is a hollow message essentially sent through, and it has a code, but this is something that you yourself and the Canoness Superior are aware of, and you enter in the code and hit play. And the visage of Inquisitor Gisholt comes up. Very tall, kind of broad man. Very. You've met him a few times in the past. Actually, you've met him a fair few times in the past. Really, he's enough to be on first name basis, and he's sitting in this big kind of conical chair, and he's there. He's got a fairly large smile on his face. You hear the words communique to Canoness Minerva. I don't have. Where is your second name? It's here somewhere. There it is. Sorry, I've got it. Communique to Canoness Minerva Galatiya via Inquisitor Gisholt. And then he, sitting in his chair and smiling, he says, Minerva, it's, hopefully this message finds you well. I hope everything is going well on the planet and you're holding out. I just wanted to inform you that I have arranged for a new batch of recruits, sisters, to be sent to you from the Scholar Progenium, fresh out of the oven, as it were. So your trainers, your drill abbesses will have a lovely time whipping them into shape. Additionally onto that, seeing as the situation in the sector is getting a little bit more serious, I thought you could do with a bit more of a hand, a bit more of a punch, if you need it. So I have, as they owe me a favor, I have arranged for a small detachment of the 4th company of the Fidelis Angelus to come and stay with you, the Astartes chapter. So, I realize there is no love lost between yourselves and the Astartes. However, if you would be so kind, I would very much appreciate you putting them up for the duration of their stay. Additionally onto that, if you do have any more requests for me, know that I am always happy to help you out, as it seems chatter in the sector is indicating things are going to get much more difficult before they get easier. Best of luck and much love, Minerva. You're going to have a interesting time of it, I think. And he raises his hand and the image. And we will end there for today.
Best of luck.
You know, it ain't easy being being the one in charge.
Oh my goodness.
So everyone, that is the first episode of Conventual Warfare. And just for you three, because it's less likely you guys will know, the Fidelis Angelus were the Space Marine chapter featured in the last series in Fallen.
I saw Peachy raving about it in chat.
Yeah. Well, things happened, and the Fidelis Angelus owe Inquisitor Gisholt a favor, so...
So they're gonna do dirty work now.
I like this. This is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You're being sent reinforcements. That's never a good sign.
I love it. Damn it, man. Heavy on the convent, light on the warfare. Still.
Give me time. We gotta get there.
More people to yell at.
So,
Yay.
yes, we'll start off just quickly running the super chats. Then we'll get into essentially open whatever you like, and then we'll do outros and end up. So first up we have Peachy Pixel 28. Oh, that sounds like a cool YouTube channel. You guys should go give it a look and probably a subscribe, just in case there's interesting 40k stuff in the future there. He says, sisters, flamers, or bolters? Bolt guns. Like, where do you guys come down? You prefer the solid slug kind of machine gun type vibes, or the fire?
Fire.
Yeah. A flamer, for sure.
As a sister, it's kind of hard to beat a flamer, isn't it?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Flamer.
Okay.
I mean,
flamers all around.
Bolter shells, efficient.
Well,
They get the job done.
they do.
Mm-hmm.
But the only way to truly purge heresy is with the flame of absolution.
As we saw.
That's true.
Yep.
Question, because I know, Kat, I know that you've played Darktide. Have you used a bolter in Darktide? How beautiful are the boulders? Like, oh,
They're good. I like them.
They're so
but
satisfying.
I actually prefer using a hammer if I'm doing a lot of melee.
Power hammer? Yeah.
Like the thunder hammer.
Thunder
Yeah.
hammer.
I do enjoy that, but I also I'm a psyker though too, so I really like Palpatine.
Ah, yes. Well, hey, maybe we'll manage to find you something. Oh, like an eviscerator would be fun for Sareth.
Ooh, yeah.
Eviscerator's like a double-handed chainsword.
Yes.
So it's really cool.
Eviscerators are nice.
Incidentally, speaking of Sareth, Damned Man, thank you for the super chat, sir. So Sareth, brackets, I'm Cat. Inquisitor Damned Man here. If you have one corrupted person, how many innocent people is too many to die as collateral? So what's like your ceiling number for how many sacrifices you're willing to make of innocence to kill a corrupted person? I'm assuming this is for your character as opposed to you.
Look at Cat, like, I can
No.
see the numbers, like, flying
it-
around there.
In order to purge heresy, one must sacrifice everything in order to succeed. And if that means completely glassing a planet, then, we gotta go do it.
All right, so everyone is aware. Keep Sarith away from the Inquisitor and the Exterminatus button, because she. Oh, ooh, okay.
Maybe if we spin her around like 5 times, she'll get disoriented.
So, thank you for the super chats, guys. For those of you watching now, if you do have a question in future episodes, feel free to throw a super chat down, and we'll read it out at the end. If you like this episode, and if you like the other things that we've done here on The Wandering Inn, please do go check out the Patreon. If you're interested in more information, there is the website. There is the website has all of the shows on there. Great place to go and find shows. There is the Discord where you can come in and chat and, kind of like see things like the color scheme for the sisters, things like that. And there's also Twitter where I tell people sometimes, if I remember, that we're live and we're doing a show. With that said, did you guys all enjoy doing Sisters of Battle, Adepta Sororitas?
Yes.
Yes.
I enjoyed burning stuff.
Yeah.
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 I feel I
Got a
need
taste for purging heresy.
I feel like I need to throw out a specific apology to Tracy for the plethora of NPCs just thrown at her. Like, here you go, here's weirdos.
No, it's great. I like that you've simulated it to be kind of like being a real life manager. Like, oh shit, I got all these problems I have to deal with. That's exactly how it is.
Don't worry, it won't be all the time, I promise.
Yeah.
But I have a hard time resisting the classic Sisters of Battle twins, who like one who's like crazy and happy and one who's like psychotic and dour.
Yeah, they're great. I love them.
And don't worry, guys. There is a reason why they're not immediately being executed for, there's
Yeah.
I figure for now, just the pure fact that the Canoness Superior, like the leader of your faction, gave them to you and suggested them, is enough to give them a little wiggle room.
Yeah.
But then we have the Magos Biologus, who is a guest via the Inquisitor.
Filthy tech priests.
Yeah. And of course the Astartes are going to turn up at some point to help you out, and they're going to as a sidebar for those who don't know, like sisters don't really like Astartes very much. They're kind of mutants, and the sisters kind of see them as heresy and everything, so that's going to be interesting. It was very cool to do a sisters specific show because, like in general, I don't know, I find like you'll have a sister in a show of something like Dark Heresy or something, but just being like convent, sisters, religion, emperor.
It's great. Yeah.
Purging.
I love this concept, honestly, of just, because it makes sense, because they are also just like very insular. So like being able to kind of see what it's like, the machinations of what goes on in a chapter, because the sisters, have a ton of different orders and chapters and stuff. So yeah, I think it's really cool.
And I'm looking forward to seeing how you deal with the heresy and the situation on the planet and off the planet. Obviously, we'll dig into like next episode, like exactly who's going where and doing what and everything. And also good news probably good news for everyone. We are being joined next week by another sister. Elbel is going to be here to
Yay!
join the ranks. So that should be a lot of fun.
Yes.
Having said all of that, let's hit an outro and head off to, you know, a less on fire galaxy and setting, which is the real world. It's not much less on fire. But...
Only less.
Yeah.
Slightly less.
So in reverse order, as we did intros, outros, Syrinx, and also Helestri.
Hell yeah. What's up? I'm Syrinx. I enjoyed my first Warhammer plunge dive. You can find me as Syrinx on Twitter and Instagram as such. And I'll see you next week, I guess. Wow. Holy shit.
Not gonna hot potato?
Oh, I thought we were going in just opposite order, so
we can
I'll
do
throw
that
it to
too.
Cad. I
Yeah.
thought that was.
Okay. Oh, well, I'm Kat, or Sister Sereth Rose.
Woo.
I'm the sister with a stick up her bum.
Make it two.
For the Emperor.
baby.
Praise him. And his holy light. For the Master! You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/I'mCat, or you can find me on Twitter, which is I'm CatCat. And I stream here and there. I've been kind of spotty. But yeah, I blame it on the ADHD. I'm currently playing a lot of Monster Hunter World at the moment. I've kind of gotten back into that. I realize, over 300 hours into the game. Where did my time go? I don't know. But that's for another time. Thanks for being here. I am super excited to be on this show and to play a really loud, yelly zealot. And yeah, I enjoy the cast, and I'm excited for next episode.
Oh yeah. And hot potato to
Hot
Yes.
potato
Me.
to Sister Superior Minerva.
Yes. Hello, everybody. I am Sister Minerva, also known as Miss Magitek / MagiRPG on the internets. Yeah, you can find me at twitch.tv/MagiRPG. We're on a break. We're on a little January hiatus because we didn't really take a hiatus during the holidays. So we're off for the rest of this month, but we're coming back in full force in February. So if you are into tabletop stuff, feel free to hang out there. I'm so happy I got to do my first Wandering in production.
Oh, yeah.
My first ever. And I thought I was going to be the most intense hard-ass sister, and apparently it's actually Sister Sereth who really came down with the holy righteousness, because that's my shtick. I actually sometimes just randomly quote hymns from this, just in my daily life.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'm gonna be full in, and then a freaking cat came in just hard on Helestri. I was like, oh shit!
You started off very strong with the speech, that fucking.
That was
slaps.
so good. That was so good.
But then
That was so good.
I feel like I broke you down a little bit with the twins. And
He kept slinging. He kept throwing NPCs at you.
Yeah,
wearing you
yeah.
out.
Yeah. So
how can I be a hard ass when they're so cute?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, also, a slight addendum to what you said there. Don't feel free, feel compelled to go check out MagiRPG.
Thanks.
So we're gonna head off, and yes, thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate it, and as always, there's gonna be more shows, so keep an eye out. Yeah, I already said thanks for watching, and that's what I was going to do. You know what? Thanks for watching, and we'll see you later. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.